Emma lived in a small, peaceful village. Her house was modest but cozy, with a garden full of bright flowers and tall trees. She loved her family, but her favorite part of life was spending time with her baby brother Liam and their dog Max. Max was not just any dog. He was a golden brown Labrador with shiny fur and a gentle heart. From the moment Liam was born, Max had acted as if Liam was his own little friend. Every morning, Max would sit patiently by Liam's crib. He would tilt his head and wag his tail as Liam began to stir. Emma's mother often laughed when she saw this. "Max is very protective of Liam," she said, smoothing the dog's fur. Liam would giggle and reach out his tiny hands toward Max, and the dog would gently lick his fingers. The bond between them was clear to everyone who saw them. During the day, Max and Liam would play together in the garden. Liam loved crawling in the soft grass while Max ran around him, bringing little toys in his mouth. Sometimes Max would roll over, letting Liam pat his belly, and other times he would chase after a small ball, making Liam clap with excitement. Emma often stood nearby, smiling and taking pictures with her phone. She loved capturing these moments because they were full of laughter and warmth. Emma's parents were happy to see their baby so cheerful with Max. They had never seen a dog so gentle with a child. "It is amazing how he understands Liam," her father said one evening. "He never jumps on him or scares him. Max is part of the family already." Emma nodded. She knew that Max was special, but she also felt a little curious. How did a dog know exactly how to play safely with a baby? One sunny afternoon, Emma's mother suggested something new. "Why don't we set up a small camera in the garden?" she asked. "We can see Max and Liam playing when we are busy in the house. It will be fun to watch later." Emma thought it was a great idea. She ran inside to get the small garden camera and carefully placed it near the sandbox where Liam loved to sit. Max watched quietly as Emma adjusted the camera. He wagged his tail, as if he understood that something new was happening. After everything was ready, Emma and her mother went inside to prepare tea. Liam sat in the garden on a soft blanket, and Max sat close by. The sun shone warmly, and the flowers swayed in the light breeze. Max brought a small wooden toy to Liam, who laughed and tried to grab it. Max moved gently, keeping the toy just out of reach to encourage Liam to crawl. Emma's mother peeked through the window and smiled. "They are having so much fun," she whispered. That evening, Emma felt tired but happy. She went to check the camera and play back the video. She expected to see the usual scenes of Liam laughing and Max wagging his tail, but as she watched closely, she noticed something strange. Max was moving toward the corner of the garden where no one usually went. He paused and looked at something on the ground. Liam tried to follow him, giggling as he crawled. Then Max did something unexpected. He carefully touched the object with his paw and nudged it toward Liam. Emma's eyes widened. What was Max showing Liam? She rewound the video and watched again. Max's actions were very deliberate. It was almost as if he was protecting Liam or warning him about something. Emma felt a mix of surprise and curiosity. She had always known Max was smart, but she had never seen him act in this way. Emma ran to her parents and called them to see the video. They all watched together, amazed. "I have never seen anything like this," her father said. "Max is not only playful, he is careful, almost like he knows more than we think." Emma's mother nodded. "We must watch more carefully tomorrow. Max might be trying to tell us something." As the night came, Liam slept peacefully and Max curled up beside him. The garden was quiet, but Emma could not stop thinking about what she had seen. The playful dog who loved her baby brother had shown a side no one had ever noticed before, and the garden camera had captured it all. Little did Emma know this was only the beginning. Max's actions would soon reveal a secret that would shock the whole family and change the way they looked at their loyal dog forever. The next morning, Emma woke up early. She was excited and a little nervous. The memory of Max's strange behavior in the garden the day before kept running through her mind. She quietly tiptoed to Liam's room. The baby was already awake, gurgling happily in his crib. Max sat nearby, his eyes bright and alert. As soon as he saw Emma, he wagged his tail, but there was a seriousness in his gaze that Emma had never seen before. Emma quickly dressed Liam and placed him in his stroller. "Let's go to the garden," she whispered. Max ran ahead, circling the blanket where Liam would sit. Today the garden seemed brighter than usual. The flowers glowed in the morning sun, and the soft breeze carried the scent of roses and jasmine. But Emma's mind was focused on one thing. She needed to find out what Max had been looking at yesterday. As soon as Liam was on the grass, Max nudged him gently toward the corner of the garden. Emma followed closely, keeping her eyes on both of them. Max stopped near a small patch of soil under a bush. He sniffed the ground carefully, then looked at Liam as if urging him to be careful. Emma crouched down, curious. She noticed a small, shiny object partially buried in the dirt. It looked unusual, and Emma had never seen it before. Max pawed at the ground again, gently uncovering more of the object. Emma realized it was a tiny key. The key was old, with intricate patterns on its surface. It looked important, but she could not guess what it opened. Liam reached for the key and Max quickly nudged it toward him as if saying, "This is safe. You can touch it." Emma smiled, feeling a mix of wonder and relief. Max was not just playful. He was careful, protective, and smart. Emma picked up the key and examined it. She wondered if it belonged to the old shed at the far end of the garden. The shed had been locked for as long as she could remember, and no one in the family had ever used it. "Max, do you want to show us something?" she asked gently. Max barked softly and ran ahead, stopping at the shed. He sat down, looking at Emma and Liam. It was as if he was asking them to follow. With Liam in her arms, Emma approached the shed. She inserted the key into the rusty lock. To her surprise, it turned easily. The door creaked open, revealing a small, dusty room filled with old furniture, boxes, and forgotten toys. Sunlight streamed through a small window, making the dust particles sparkle like tiny stars. Emma stepped inside, carefully holding Liam close. Max followed, sniffing everything with interest. Suddenly, Emma noticed a large old chest in the corner of the shed. It was covered in cobwebs, and its lock looked just as old as the one on the door. Max walked straight to the chest and pawed at it. He barked softly, looking at Emma as if urging her to open it. Emma knelt down and used the key once again. The chest creaked open, revealing something that made her gasp. Inside were several old photographs, letters, and a small wooden box. Emma picked up the wooden box. It was beautifully carved with tiny patterns similar to the key. Max wagged his tail excitedly, looking at her as if he wanted her to open it. Emma carefully lifted the lid and found something even more surprising. There were tiny, colorful stones arranged neatly inside. Each stone seemed to glow faintly in the sunlight. She had never seen anything like it. Emma's curiosity grew. What were these stones? Why were they hidden in the shed? And why had Max led them here? Max barked again, gently nudging Liam, who giggled and tried to touch the glowing stones. Emma laughed softly. She realized that Max had not just found the key and the chest by accident. He had led them to something important, something that had been hidden for many years. She had no idea what it meant yet, but she knew it was the beginning of an unexpected adventure. That evening, Emma and her parents sat together in the living room. She told them everything that had happened. Her father looked amazed, and her mother seemed both surprised and proud of Max. "He is truly special," her father said. "It is as if he knew what we needed to find." Emma nodded. She looked at Max, who was resting his head on Liam's lap, and smiled. The playful dog who loved her baby brother had shown them a secret that no one could have guessed. As night fell, Emma placed the stones and photographs on a small table in her room. She could feel that these items were not ordinary. Max lay beside Liam, keeping a watchful eye on him. Emma realized that this was only the beginning. The garden, the shed, and the mysterious stones were connected in ways she could not yet understand. And Max, the loyal dog, would guide them through the mystery. The next morning, Emma woke up feeling excited. She could not stop thinking about the glowing stones in the shed. Liam was already awake, giggling as Max wagged his tail beside him. Emma carefully carried Liam to the garden, and Max ran ahead, circling the blanket like he always did. Today, Emma decided they would try to understand the mystery of the stones. Emma sat on the grass with Liam in her lap. Max sat close, his head tilted as if he were listening carefully. Emma took one of the glowing stones in her hand. It was smooth and warm, and it seemed to shine even brighter in the sunlight. She turned it over, looking for any marks or symbols. To her surprise, she noticed tiny patterns carved on the surface. They looked like little shapes of stars, moons, and circles. She showed it to her parents later, and they were equally amazed. "Where did these stones come from?" Emma's mother asked. "And why were they hidden in the shed?" Emma shrugged. She had no answers, but she knew one thing. Max had led them to these stones for a reason. He had been careful, protective, and intelligent. It was as if he knew that these stones were important. After breakfast, Emma decided to set up the garden camera again. This time she wanted to watch Max closely and see if he had any more secrets to reveal. She placed the camera near the shed and sat on a chair nearby with Liam in her arms. Max sniffed around the shed for a few minutes, then walked slowly toward the small wooden box with the stones. He pawed gently at it and barked softly, looking at Emma as if asking for help. Emma approached carefully. She opened the box again and examined the stones. She noticed something strange. The stones seemed to change slightly when Max touched them. Some of them glowed brighter, while others made a soft humming sound when moved. Emma could hardly believe her eyes. Liam reached out for a stone and Max nudged it gently toward him. Liam giggled and clapped his hands and Max wagged his tail happily. Curious, Emma picked up a few stones and tried to arrange them in different patterns on the grass. As she did, she noticed that the stones seemed to form shapes naturally. A circle of stones glowed in a pattern resembling a flower. A line of stones made a tiny path of light across the grass. Emma's heart beat faster. Could these stones have magical or special properties? Max watched her with bright, intelligent eyes as if encouraging her to continue exploring. By midday, Emma's parents came to the garden to see what she was doing. They were amazed. "I have never seen anything like this," her father said. "These stones are extraordinary," her mother nodded. "And Max seems to understand them. He is not just a dog. He is part of this mystery." Emma smiled. She had always known Max was special, but now it was clear that he was connected to something bigger than anyone had guessed. Later, Emma decided to explore the rest of the shed carefully. Max followed closely, sniffing every corner. In one dusty shelf, Emma found an old notebook. Its pages were yellowed and the handwriting was careful and neat. She opened it and began reading. The notebook seemed to describe the stones and their powers. It mentioned that they could guide someone to something important if used correctly. Emma felt a shiver of excitement. Max had not just found the stones by accident. He had led them to a key to the chest and now to this notebook. Max barked softly as if sensing Emma's excitement. Liam giggled, reaching toward the notebook, and Max nudged him gently away, keeping him safe. Emma realized that Max was not only playful but also wise. He knew how to protect Liam and how to guide her. She hugged him gently, feeling grateful for his loyalty and intelligence. That evening, Emma placed the notebook and stones on her small table. She could feel that they were only the beginning of a much larger story. The garden, the shed, the stones, and Max were all connected. Emma's mind raced with questions, but one thing was certain. They had discovered something incredible, and Max would lead them to understand it fully. As night fell, Liam slept peacefully, and Max curled up beside him. Emma looked out the window at the dark garden, feeling a mix of wonder and excitement. She knew that tomorrow and the days after would bring more discoveries, more mysteries, and more surprises. And through it all, Max would be there, always watching, always protecting, and always guiding them. The adventure had only just begun. The next morning, Emma woke with a feeling of excitement. She could not wait to continue exploring the mystery of the stones. Liam giggled from his crib as Max wagged his tail beside him. Emma picked him up carefully and carried him to the garden. Max ran ahead, circling the grass like a small guard, keeping a watchful eye on both Emma and Liam. The sunlight made the flowers sparkle, and the air smelled fresh with morning dew. Emma decided to use the notebook she had found yesterday. She carefully opened the pages, scanning the handwriting and drawings. The notebook described patterns with the stones. It said that arranging them in certain ways could reveal something hidden. Emma's heart beat faster. She looked at the glowing stones in the wooden box. Max sat close, watching her with bright, intelligent eyes. He seemed to understand that something important was about to happen. Emma placed the stones on the grass, arranging them according to the first pattern in the notebook. She followed the shapes carefully, making circles and lines just like the drawings. As she finished, she noticed something incredible. The stones glowed brighter, and a small light appeared on the grass in the shape of an arrow. Emma looked at Max. The dog wagged his tail and barked softly. It was clear he wanted her to follow the arrow. With Liam in her arms, Emma followed the direction of the light. Max ran ahead, sniffing the path and occasionally looking back to make sure they were following correctly. The arrow led them toward a section of the garden they rarely visited. It was a quiet corner with tall bushes and thick grass. Emma pushed the branches aside carefully, and Max immediately entered, sniffing the ground. Liam reached toward the soft leaves, giggling at the strange new place. Suddenly, Max stopped. He sniffed something on the ground and pawed at it gently. Emma bent down to see. There, half hidden under a patch of moss, was a small wooden box. It was old but beautifully decorated, with carving similar to the key in the other box of stones. Emma carefully picked it up and showed it to her parents when they came to check on them. Her mother gasped. "I have never seen anything like this before," she said. "Max has truly led us to something important." Emma opened the box slowly. Inside, she found more stones, slightly larger than the ones from the shed. Each stone had tiny patterns carved on it, different from the previous set. There was also a folded piece of paper. Emma opened it carefully. The paper contained a simple map, showing the garden and a path leading to a secret spot. Emma felt her heart race. The map seemed to suggest that the garden held even more secrets than she had imagined. Max barked softly and wagged his tail. He nudged Liam gently as if reminding Emma to keep him safe. Emma realized that Max was not just leading her for fun. He was protecting Liam and guiding her carefully. She looked at the map and then at the stones. It was clear that Max understood the importance of both. He had discovered these items before they did, and now he was making sure Emma and Liam could find the next part of the mystery safely. That afternoon, Emma and her parents followed Max and the map. Max sniffed the ground constantly, occasionally stopping to bark or paw at something. Emma noticed that the glowing stones responded to Max's presence. When he came close, they seemed to shine brighter, as if reacting to his guidance. Liam laughed and reached toward the stones, and Max nudged him gently, making sure he stayed safe. By the evening, Emma had arranged all the new stones according to the map. The stones formed a circle, and in the middle, a small patch of earth glowed softly. Emma knelt down, brushing the soil aside carefully. Beneath it was a small metal box, locked but clearly important. Emma's parents looked amazed. "Max has led us to something extraordinary," her father said. Emma nodded. She hugged Max gently, feeling grateful for his loyalty and intelligence. That night, Emma placed the new stones in the metal box in her room. Liam slept peacefully with Max curled up beside him. Emma stared at the objects, thinking about the adventures that lay ahead. The garden had hidden secrets, and Max was the key to discovering them. She knew that tomorrow would bring more surprises, more discoveries, and more lessons about the special bond between humans and animals. As she drifted to sleep, Emma felt a sense of wonder. Max was not just a dog. He was a guide, a protector, and a friend who had opened the door to a mystery that was waiting to be revealed. And she could not wait to see what would happen next. The following morning, Emma woke with a feeling of excitement. She could hardly wait to continue exploring the secret the garden held. Liam giggled in his crib, and Max wagged his tail energetically beside him. Emma picked up Liam carefully and carried him to the garden. Max ran ahead, circling the grass, sniffing the air, and keeping a watchful eye on both Emma and Liam. The sunlight made the flowers shine like little jewels, and the air was filled with the scent of fresh grass. Emma brought the metal box and the glowing stones from her room. She set Liam on the blanket and placed Max nearby. The dog sat patiently, watching her with bright, intelligent eyes. Emma opened the metal box carefully. Inside, she found another set of stones, even larger than the ones she had discovered before. Each stone had a tiny symbol carved on it. Some looked like waves, some like stars, and others like small animals. Emma felt her heartbeat rise. She realized the garden had been hiding something extraordinary, and Max was helping them uncover it. She picked up one stone and noticed it reacted differently when Max came closer. The stone glowed brighter, and a soft humming sound filled the air. Liam clapped his hands in delight, and Max wagged his tail, nudging the baby gently to make him laugh. Emma laughed too. It was clear that Max was guiding her carefully. He knew how to keep Liam safe and how to help her understand the mystery of the stones. Emma decided to arrange the stones according to the patterns in the notebook. She carefully placed them on the grass, forming circles and lines. Each time she completed a pattern, a soft glow appeared in the middle of the stones. Today, Emma noticed, the glow seemed to point toward a section of the garden they had not explored much. The far side, near the old fence. Emma looked at Max. The dog barked softly as if encouraging her to follow. Carrying Liam, Emma walked toward the far side of the garden. Max ran ahead, sniffing the ground, and paused near a patch of soil that looked slightly disturbed. Emma bent down and brushed the soil aside carefully. Beneath it was a small wooden door embedded in the ground. She could hardly believe her eyes. The door was old and covered with moss, but it had a small keyhole that matched the key they had found in the first box. Emma's heart raced with excitement. With Max watching closely, Emma inserted the key and turned it. The door creaked open slowly, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into darkness. Max barked softly, then sat down, looking at Emma and Liam. It was clear he wanted them to follow, but was also warning them to be careful. Emma felt a mixture of fear and excitement. She held Liam tightly and took a deep breath. She knew this was a big step, but with Max guiding them, she felt safe. Slowly, Emma and Max descended the stairs. Liam giggled, reaching toward the walls, and Max stayed close, keeping him protected. The staircase led to a small underground room. It was filled with light from crystals embedded in the walls. The crystals glowed softly, reflecting colors across the room. Emma gasped. The room was beautiful and magical. She placed Liam on the soft floor, and he looked around in wonder. Max circled the room, sniffing and exploring carefully. In the middle of the room, Emma noticed a large stone pedestal. On top of it was a glowing crystal, larger than any stone they had found before. Emma approached it slowly, and Max sat at her side, watching carefully. She realized this crystal was the center of all the other stones. It seemed to connect the patterns they had discovered in the garden to this magical room. Emma felt a sense of awe. Max had guided them to something extraordinary, something that no one had ever known existed. That evening, Emma and her parents sat together, talking quietly about what they had discovered. Liam played with Max nearby, giggling and reaching for the dog's tail. Emma looked at Max and felt deep gratitude. He had not only protected Liam, but had also guided them to a secret world hidden beneath their garden. She knew their adventure was far from over. The stones, the crystals, and the underground room were all pieces of a mystery that would reveal even more surprises. As night fell, Emma placed the glowing crystal in a safe spot and covered the entrance to the underground room. Liam slept peacefully, and Max curled up beside him, still watchful. Emma stared at the stars outside her window, thinking about the incredible journey that had begun with a dog who loved a baby and a garden full of secrets. Tomorrow, she knew, would bring new discoveries, and Max would be there, guiding them every step of the way. The adventure had reached a new level, and the mysteries of the garden were only beginning to unfold. The next morning, Emma woke up with excitement and a sense of curiosity. The memory of the underground room and the glowing crystal filled her mind. Liam was already awake, giggling in his crib as Max wagged his tail beside him. Emma carefully picked up Liam and carried him to the garden. Max ran ahead, sniffing the air and circling the grass, keeping a watchful eye on both of them. The sunlight sparkled on the flowers, making the garden look magical. Emma brought the notebook, the glowing stones, and the small key they had used to open the underground door. Today, she decided, they would explore the underground room more carefully. Max sat patiently, his eyes bright and intelligent, as Emma arranged the stones in patterns according to the notebook. Each pattern made the stones glow brighter and created a small arrow of light pointing toward the entrance of the underground room. Emma felt her heart beat faster. Max barked softly, as if encouraging her to follow the light. Carrying Liam carefully, Emma followed Max to the hidden door. The staircase leading down seemed less frightening now. Max stayed close, sniffing the walls and floor, making sure the path was safe. Liam laughed as he touched the glowing stones on the steps, and Max nudged him gently, keeping him from slipping. Emma felt grateful for Max's careful attention. He was more than a dog. He was a protector and a guide. Once inside the underground room, Emma noticed that the glowing crystal in the middle seemed brighter than ever. Max circled it, sniffing and examining it carefully. Emma looked at the stones she had brought and placed them around the crystal according to the patterns in the notebook. The crystal's glow expanded, filling the room with soft, warm light. Emma could see reflections on the walls, and the crystals embedded there shimmered like tiny stars. Liam clapped his hands, fascinated by the colors, and Max wagged his tail happily. Emma explored the room more closely. She noticed small carvings on the walls, symbols similar to the ones on the stones. She realized the entire room was connected to the stones and the patterns she had discovered in the garden. Each stone acted like a key, and the crystal in the center was the main key. Max barked softly, nudging her toward a section of the wall with a faint outline of a door. Emma's eyes widened. Could there be another hidden passage? Carefully, Emma pressed the stones in the pattern she had seen in the notebook. The wall trembled slightly, and slowly a hidden door opened. Max stepped forward cautiously, sniffing the new passage. Emma held Liam close and followed Max into the small tunnel. It was narrow, but the walls glowed faintly, guiding their steps. Emma could hear Liam giggling and Max moving steadily beside them. The tunnel led to another chamber, smaller than the first but filled with beautiful light. In the center of the new chamber was a pedestal with a small closed box. Emma approached it carefully. The box looked old but important, with carvings similar to the ones on the stones and the key. Max sat beside her, looking at the box as if urging her to open it. Emma inserted the small key from the first box. It fit perfectly and the lid creaked open. Inside were several small scrolls. Emma carefully unrolled one and read aloud. It contained instructions on how to use the stones to reveal more secrets in the garden. Emma's parents arrived later, following Max's guidance from above. They were amazed to see the glowing room, the crystal, and the new chamber with the scrolls. "Max has truly led us to something extraordinary," her father said. Emma nodded. She hugged Max gently, feeling deep gratitude. He had protected Liam, guided her, and helped uncover a mystery that had been hidden for many years. That night, Emma placed the stones, scrolls, and crystal safely in her room. Liam slept peacefully with Max curled up beside him, always watchful. Emma stared at the glowing crystal, thinking about all the secrets they had discovered and the ones that might still remain hidden. She knew that Max would continue to guide them and that the adventure was far from over. As she drifted to sleep, Emma felt a sense of wonder and excitement. Max was more than a pet. He was a guide, protector, and friend who had opened the door to a secret world. Tomorrow would bring new discoveries, and she was ready for them. The garden, the underground chambers, the stones, and Max's intelligence had created a mystery that would change their lives forever. The journey had become magical, and Emma knew the best part was yet to come. The next morning, Emma felt a mixture of excitement and curiosity. She knew that Max had led them to something extraordinary, but she also sensed that the biggest surprise was still ahead. Liam giggled in his crib and Max wagged his tail beside him. Emma picked up Liam carefully and carried him to the garden. Max ran ahead, sniffing the air and circling the grass, keeping a close watch. The sunlight sparkled on the flowers and the garden felt alive with energy. Emma brought the glowing stones, the crystal, and the scrolls from the hidden chamber. She set Liam on the blanket and arranged the stones carefully according to the patterns in the notebook. Each arrangement made the stones shine brighter, and soft arrows of light appeared on the grass. Max barked softly as if urging Emma to follow the path. She took a deep breath and decided to follow the glowing arrows. Liam clapped his hands in excitement, and Max nudged him gently to make sure he stayed safe. The arrows led them to the far corner of the garden near the old fence. Emma pushed aside the branches and noticed a small patch of soil that seemed different from the rest. Max sniffed it carefully and pawed at the ground. Emma knelt down and brushed the soil aside. Beneath it was a hidden trapdoor, smaller than the one that led to the underground room. Emma's heart raced. Max barked softly and sat down, looking at her as if asking, "Are you ready?" Emma nodded. She held Liam carefully and inserted the small key into the lock. The trapdoor creaked open slowly, revealing a narrow staircase leading down. Max went first, sniffing the steps and making sure they were safe. Emma followed, holding Liam tightly. The staircase led to a small chamber filled with faint glowing light. In the center was a large box covered with intricate carvings. The carvings looked similar to those on the stones, the key, and the crystal. Emma knelt down and opened the box carefully. Inside were dozens of small wooden figures, each carved with incredible detail. Some looked like animals, others like people, and all of them seemed very old. Emma picked up one of the figures. It felt warm in her hand, and as she held it, she noticed something remarkable. The figure glowed softly, and a tiny beam of light connected it to the crystal in the other chamber. Max barked and nudged Liam gently, as if to show that the two were connected. Emma realized that the figures, the stones, and the crystal were all part of the same secret. Max had led them to discover something that had been hidden for generations. Emma carefully arranged the wooden figures around the crystal, according to the patterns in the scrolls. As she did, the chamber began to glow brighter. Soft lights moved along the walls, forming shapes and patterns. Emma stepped back in awe. Liam clapped his hands, laughing at the beautiful lights, and Max wagged his tail happily. The room seemed alive, as if the objects themselves were celebrating their discovery. Suddenly, Emma noticed a small compartment inside the box that she had not seen before. She opened it and found a folded letter. The handwriting was old but clear. She read it aloud. The letter explained that the stones, the crystal, and the figures were part of a family secret. They had been hidden to protect something precious, and Max had been chosen to guide the family to uncover it safely. Emma's eyes widened. Max had not just been playful or protective. He had been guarding a secret that was now revealed because of his intelligence and loyalty. Emma's parents arrived quietly, having followed Max from above. They were amazed by the glowing chamber, the figures, and the crystal. "I cannot believe Max led us here," her father said. "He has been protecting and guiding us all along." Emma nodded, holding Liam close. She looked at Max and hugged him gently. He wagged his tail, resting his head on her shoulder. That evening, Emma carefully placed the figures, stones, and crystal in a safe spot. Liam slept peacefully, with Max curled up beside him, still watchful. Emma stared at the glowing objects, thinking about the incredible journey they had completed. Max had not only loved and protected Liam, but had also revealed a secret that had been hidden for generations. She knew their adventure had reached an important moment, but the garden still held wonders waiting to be discovered. As night fell, Emma felt a deep sense of gratitude and wonder. Max was more than a dog. He was a guide, a protector, and a friend who had unlocked a magical family secret. Emma could hardly wait to see what would happen next, knowing that with Max by her side, every discovery would be safe and extraordinary. The secret of the garden had been revealed, and the bond between Max, Liam, and Emma had grown stronger than ever. The next morning, Emma woke with a mixture of excitement and curiosity. The glow of the crystal and the wooden figures from the underground chamber filled her mind. Liam giggled in his crib and Max wagged his tail beside him. Emma picked up Liam carefully and carried him to the garden. Max ran ahead, sniffing the air and circling the grass, keeping a watchful eye on both of them. The sunlight made the flowers shine like little stars, and the garden seemed alive with energy. Emma brought the stones, crystal, and wooden figures, arranging them carefully on the blanket. She studied the notebook and scrolls again, trying to understand the final instructions. Max sat nearby, watching intently. His ears perked up as if he understood every movement. Liam clapped his hands excitedly, reaching toward the glowing objects. Max nudged him gently, keeping him safe while encouraging him to enjoy the moment. Following the patterns in the scrolls, Emma arranged the stones in a large circle around the crystal. She placed the wooden figures along the edges, making sure each one matched the symbols on the stones. As she completed the final arrangement, the crystal began to glow brighter than ever before. A warm, gentle light filled the garden, spreading from the blanket across the flowers, the grass, and even the old trees. Emma stepped back, holding Liam close, and watched in amazement. Suddenly, Max barked loudly and ran to the far corner of the garden, stopping near the camera they had set up earlier. Emma looked at the camera and noticed something shocking. The lens had captured Max's actions earlier, showing how he had discovered the stones, the key, and the hidden doors long before anyone had realized. Max had been working carefully behind the scenes, guiding them step by step. Emma's parents arrived, drawn by the sound of Max's bark. They watched the video playback and gasped in astonishment. "It is incredible," her father said. "Max knew exactly what to do and where to lead us. He has been protecting Liam and helping us discover this secret all along." Emma nodded, her eyes wide with wonder. She hugged Max gently, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. Max wagged his tail happily, resting his head on Liam's lap. It was clear that the dog had not only loved the baby, but had also guided the family to a secret that had been hidden for generations. Emma stepped closer to the glowing crystal. She noticed that the light from the stones and figures formed a pathway leading toward a small mound at the edge of the garden. Max ran ahead, sniffing the soil, and paused near a patch that looked slightly disturbed. Emma knelt down and brushed away the dirt carefully. Beneath it was a small wooden chest, beautifully carved and locked with a tiny metal clasp. She opened it slowly and gasped. Inside were old family documents, letters, and photographs that showed the history of their home and garden. Emma's mother picked up a photograph. It showed a young girl playing with a dog that looked exactly like Max. The letters explained that the dog had been part of the family for generations, chosen to protect children and guide the family whenever a secret was hidden. Emma realized the truth. Max was no ordinary dog. He was a loyal guardian, chosen to ensure the safety of the children and to reveal the family's hidden treasures when the time was right. Liam laughed, reaching for Max, and Max nudged him gently, wagging his tail. Emma smiled, realizing that the dog had been their guide, protector, and friend from the very beginning. The glowing stones, crystal, and figures had all been part of the path Max had carefully shown them. The garden, which had seemed ordinary, was full of magic, love, and history. That evening, Emma and her parents placed the stones, crystal, figures, and documents in a safe spot in the house. Liam slept peacefully, with Max curled up beside him, still watchful. Emma looked at Max and whispered, "You are amazing, Max. Thank you for everything." Max wagged his tail and rested his head on her shoulder. The garden was quiet, but Emma felt a sense of wonder and peace. The secrets had been revealed, the mystery solved, and the bond between Max, Liam, and Emma had grown stronger than ever. Max had played with Liam, guided Emma, and protected the family, proving that love, loyalty, and intelligence could create miracles even in the most ordinary places. Emma smiled as she looked at the garden. The adventure was complete, but the memory of Max's loyalty, the glowing stones, and the hidden chambers would stay with them forever. The dog who had always played with the baby had not only protected him, but had also revealed a family secret that no one would ever forget. Max wagged his tail one last time that night, resting beside Liam, the baby he had loved and protected. Emma knew that their garden would always hold magic, and Max would always be their guardian, guiding them with love, loyalty, and wisdom.